أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Walaikum
Our
salam
brothers
wa rahmatullahi wa
and
barakatuh.
sisters in Islam, we are here today to have a new conversation, or let's say have a new discussion. And my brother here from another mother, brother Ridwan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. What about you? How have you been? How is everything
Um,
going at your end?
I'm doing great. Alhamdulillah. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how is Ramadan also going at the moment? So if we are moving to the end of Ramadan, how is it going with you?
So far so good. Alhamdulillah. What about you?
Alhamdulillah, not bad, not bad. With my brother here today, just to jump into the conversation, we thank our viewers for always supporting with your likes, with your comments, and with always watching us. So, with my brother here today, we are going to be having a different conversation, and we've had a new topic, which is why knowledge is the key to a meaningful Ramadan. So, and if we look at it very well, we will see that Ramadan isn't just about abstaining from eating or abstaining from food and drink. So, it's a month of profound spiritual growth also. So, and just to let us know also that we can't get that without knowledge, because knowledge is the essential ingredient that unlocks the true potential of Ramadan. So, and as we all know that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala said in the Holy Quran, which is that famous ayah that every single body knows, that "Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الذي اقرأ وربك
Akram.
الذي أكرم
Akram.
الذي علم بالقلم.
Allama
So Allah
al-insan.
subhanahu wa ta'ala said that he told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, recite in the name of your Lord who created and created man from a cloth. He said, recite and your Lord is the most generous. He said, who taught by the pen taught man what he knew not. So that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in that ayah. And also for us to know that knowledge is the key, and we cannot proceed without having knowledge of something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said and gave importance to the people who know in another ayah. He said, قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. He said, إِنَّمَا يَتَذَكَّرُ أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said, he said, and at those who know and those who do not know, are they equal? And those endowed with understanding will pay it. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. So, which is um, knowledge is important in every single thing we want to do. Knowledge is important because if we don't have a knowledge of something, we won't be able to do it well. So, and have we ever asked ourselves, saying, yeah, Ramadan, we are fasting it. Then why Ramadan? Why is that month so special? Why is that month the month where we put more effort into our ibadah and more effort into our worship? So have we ever asked ourselves? If we do ask ourselves, then we would see that we need knowledge about all the practices we are doing. Brother Ridwan, just not to talk too much, what do you have to say about that topic?
Thank you. So regarding the topic, as we all know that knowledge is essential, and Islam itself is it's a body that enhances and encourages. It's a body that enhances and encourages seeking knowledge, which is the reason why we see that the first revelation that was revealed was Ikra, read, which indicates that knowledge and seeking knowledge is something essential and something ingrained in Islamic, not only Islamic tradition, but in Islamic civilization in general. So knowledge is very important. And when we are talking about knowledge as a key understanding in Ramadan, what we are trying to say is that Ramadan is fasting, and Ramadan has to do with the action of the limb, as we've already mentioned before. That all the topics that we are discussing are interrelated. So we can, as you know, we've already talked before about the relation of iman and knowledge, and we say that, and also ibadah as well. So fasting is part of the limb of the action of the limb. So when we're talking about iman, we said iman comprises three components. The first one is the testament. It is the testament, like you have to testify that there is no God except Allah alone. He alone is worthy of worship, and that Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Sallallahu. Then after that, we have the conviction of the heart, and after that we have the action of the limb. So these are the three components. So action of the part of action of the limb is fasting, because we fast with our physical body. So like by abstaining from eating, abstaining from drinking, abstaining from having any sort of consensual relationship with our wives, and so on and so forth. So here, when we're talking about this knowledge, so here the knowledge we're talking about, although knowledge can be defined into two, and as we all know, there are a lot of hadiths that um, address a lot of hadith, prophetic traditions that address the importance of knowledge, the importance of seeking knowledge. Part of it is طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم ومسلمة. So seeking knowledge is necessary for all Muslims. Seeking knowledge is necessary for all Muslims. Because why? Because you cannot worship Allah with ignorance, which is what we are seeing in our community, in our modern state, in our contemporary context. That is what we are seeing. Worshipping Allah with ignorance. So you cannot worship Allah with ignorance. As in Muslims, you need to know the basics, the foundations, the ilmu daruri. So the necessary things that you need to know that you cannot do without. So when we're talking about knowledge, Imam Ghazali rahimahullah in his book Mizan al-Amal, he divided knowledge into two. He said we have the practical knowledge. He said we have theoretical knowledge and we have practical knowledge. Even that practical knowledge itself, there are some portions that are theoretical and there are some portions that are practical. So the theoretical parts are the theoretical parts. Like it's the theoretical part is the knowledge that you need for you to be doing or to actualize that action, that practice aspect of it. So there are some knowledge that you need in order for you to worship. For example, you need the knowledge of, for example, how to recite surah, how to recite surah al Fatiha and some other surah, so that you can so that you can observe your salah, your 5 daily prayer, your nawafil. You need knowledge of, okay, what should you be saying, for example, when you're standing and when you're prostrating, before you stand, when you say takbiratul ihram, what do you have to say? You need that knowledge. You need the knowledge of Muktilat Salat. What are the things that can spoil your Salat or that can spoil your wudu, your ablution? You need that knowledge. These are essential knowledge that you need to know. So that is for Salat. So we can come to Ramadan as well. So Ramadan also is part of action of the limb. Okay. So now when you're doing Ramadan, there are some essential things that you need to know. For example, yeah, you are fasting. Okay. If you want to fast, do you have to say do you have to say intention or not? Most people don't know that they need to say intention before you are fasting. Because without intention, then how can you differentiate between you and non-Muslim that is fasting? So non-Muslim that is fasting without any intention, intention is what we differentiate between you guys. So you need that knowledge of how to know that it is important and necessary for you to do your intention, to say intention before you start fasting. So how many Muslims know this? So this is part of the essential knowledge that we're talking about. This is part of the practical knowledge. Practical knowledge because it is what you need so that you can be able to actualize that practical aspect of the actions of the limb that we're saying. So like Ramadan, for example, okay, so intention is very important. Do you know how to say intention? Okay, what are the things that can spoil fasting? What are the things that can invalidate your fasting? Do you know it? So what are the, for example, some askar that you need to be doing during Ramadan? What are the things that you need to abstain from during Ramadan? This is knowledge that is very essential. What are the things that you need to be doing? What do you need to say when you want to break, for example? So these are the knowledge that are very, very important. What should you be saying, for example, if you witness the night of the majesty, for example? How many nawafil do you have to be doing? So these are the necessary knowledge that you need to know in order for you to be able to practice, in order for you to be able to observe this devotional practice in a proper way. For you to be able to observe all these devotional practices in a proper way, you need knowledge of how to do it. Because you cannot worship Allah with ignorance. You need to worship Allah with knowledge. Therefore, you need to seek that knowledge. So that is the reason why we say that knowledge of that which cannot be complete without it is also necessary. For example, Salat is necessary. Then knowledge of what we teach you how to observe Salah is also necessary as well. Although it's a means, yeah, but it's a means that will lead to a necessary end. Therefore, that means itself is also necessary. So you need to seek that knowledge. So these are the importance of how knowledge is some sort of indicator of the importance of knowledge in Ramadan. So meaning, if you have the knowledge of, okay, yeah, this is Ramadan, what should you need to do? How do you need to do? How should you act? What should you abstain from? What should you be doing? What do you have to be doing? Like, what do you have to be doing consistently without breaking or without intermittent between both of them? So, what are the things that you need to do? What are the askar? What do you need to do? What do you need to stop doing? What do you need to avoid? All this kind of knowledge are very, very important. What are the things that you need to be doing that can get you a lot of reward? You know, what are the things that you need to do that can, for example, that can destroy your fasting, that can spoil your fasting? So what are the things that you need to do that can get you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Right? What are the things that you need to do that for that you don't know that might lead to some sort of doings or some sort of association with Allah? So these are important. These are something important. They are very, very important, and it is what we need to do and what we need to know so that we can have we can fast with knowledge. We can have a valid fasting. Because if you are fasting and you don't know the knowledge of what you need to do, what you don't need to do, what can spoil your fasting, what cannot spoil your fasting, and what are the necessary things that you need to put in place before you start fasting, how you need to fast, what you need to abstain from, all these sort of things. If you don't know them, then you need to ask yourself, why am I doing this? So this knowledge is very important because without that knowledge, you will just be acting ignorant. You just be ignorant. You just be acting in not in a proper way, which sometimes you might even spoil your fasting. Why you don't know? Because you don't have the knowledge. So seek knowledge. It's very important. So you
Yeah,
seek the knowledge
just
so
to
to get it. Yeah.
buttress what you just said is um you need a knowledge to know that you need to fast in Ramadan. That's one knowledge because it's different from the other fastings. So you need to know that you need to fast in Ramadan. That's one knowledge. Another knowledge is you need to know on how to fast in Ramadan. That's another knowledge. So, and also you need to know on what you should be doing in Ramadan and what you shouldn't be doing in Ramadan. That also is another knowledge. Because with this knowledge is the only way that you can only get to get the, as we said it, like the meaningful Ramadan. For your Ramadan to have meaning, that's the only way your Ramadan also can have meaning, because what we call knowledge, it is only valuable when it's applied in daily life. So, for example, if you gain knowledge and you don't use it, you then, for example, what is that knowledge for? Because you're not using it. So, but you need to use that knowledge for you to be able, for it to be valuable. So, for example, we are talking. You gave us an example before saying when you're performing the wudu. So it's one knowledge also to know that you need to perform wudu before you go for prayer. So, and it's another knowledge also to know that, yeah, you've known that you need to perform wudu, which is the purification before going for salah. Then the knowledge is, how do I perform wudu again? So, which is applicable to Ramadan. Now I know I need to fast Ramadan. How do I fast Ramadan? So I need to fast from sunrise to sunset. The knowledge that you need to seek for is again, how do I know that the sun is set? Not just in the afternoon when the sun just goes in for a while, then I think the sun is set. So these are kind of some knowledge that you need to know, or of that you need to have to be able to practice Islam as a Muslim well, and also to be able to um to bring out Ramadan in its month meaningfully. So because the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also said it in his hadith, he said, whoever takes a path in search of knowledge, so Allah will cause him to walk in one path of paradise. So he said that in Sahih Muslim, so that
من
Allah
سهل
will cause,
من سلك
yeah,
طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله له به طريقا إلى الجنة. نعم.
ilal Jannah. So the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that just because for you to know um how essential knowledge is, because if you can't practice anything without its knowledge, because if you're practicing it without its, that is why we have a lot of people nowadays practicing Islam, and when you see them, you are always like, are these people really practicing Islam? Are they practicing the same Islam that we are practicing? I brought an example the other day about somebody saying he's a Muslim guy. So if he has the knowledge about the religion he's practicing, he won't say that. Talk less of him fighting people to say he's doing what is right. So because no way Islam has never encouraged you being there. Then why do you want to classify yourself as a Muslim gay just because you don't have that knowledge? So knowledge is essential, as my brother has said. So and in Ramadan also, for example, we have a lot of things we need to do in Ramadan. If you don't have the knowledge, you won't be able to what is it called? You won't be able to do them. For example, yeah. Now we now know that you need to read Quran in Ramadan. But how do you do that? You know that you need to gain rewards in Ramadan, but how do you gain those rewards? Those are the knowledge you need to seek. You need to find them. You need to make sure that you are searching for every bit, as you said, that there is you need to have a knowledge of something, and you still need to find that the knowledge of you finding that thing, which is kind of like the wasila to that thing. You need to find the knowledge to that thing also, as you've said earlier. So and you were trying to mention some points about knowledge in Ramadan also. So can you continue
Yeah,
with that?
yeah, yeah. Just in addition to what you've mentioned, so I think it is quite important to let our audience know the importance of knowledge, as we've said. For so, if you go back to Islamic tradition, you will see tons of evidence, like plethora of evidence that indicate or encourage the importance of knowledge. And also, for example, the hadith that we mentioned before, that talab al-ilm, seeking knowledge is necessary, is compulsory for all Muslims, because it is what you really need so that you can worship Allah. And also we see that knowledge most of the time, of course, is linked to intellect. So intellect is the source of our knowledge, and with the intellect, the intellect is part of our faculties of the soul, because we have three faculties of the soul. So we have the irascible faculty, we have the concupiscent faculty, and we have the rational faculty. So the rational faculty, one of the virtues that come out of the rational faculty is intellect. And we know with intellect we have the knowledge, we have ilm that we are talking about. So ilm is very very important. So when you go back to the for example Sahih Bukhari, Imam Bukhari, in one of the chapter, the beginning of chapter of Sahih Bukhari, there is a chapter that he said Babul ilmi qabla al-qawli wal-amal. So like Babul ilmi qabla al-qawli wal-amal, meaning to seek knowledge first before action.
Yeah.
So knowledge first. So and he cited the Quranic verse, فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. So Allah starts with fa'lam, know, and that there is no God except Allah. There is no God
Yeah.
worthy of worship except Allah. So it starts with knowledge. Meaning it's very important. Fa'lam first. La ilm first. You seek the knowledge is very important. Because without that knowledge, you are going to, for example, you might be worshiping Allah in the wrong way, or you might be going much deeper into astray without you knowing, into the wrong path. So it's very important. That's why I say fa'lam annahu la ilaha illallah. Know first. So you need to know. So this is the importance of knowledge. And also when you try to read the history of the Sahaba, of the companions, of the ulama, the scholars, you see that they do cherish the knowledge that is of benefit. Knowledge that is of benefit, meaning not just a mere knowledge, but knowledge that you can act it upon. That is why there is this famous dua, the Allahumma alimna bima yanfa'una. Oh Allah taught us, alimna bima yanfa'una, like teach us what was going to be
So,
of benefit for us, what's going to benefit us, what we are going to benefit from. So, and we see even the Sahaba, they say, like most of the things, when we learn new things, we do act upon it. We don't just learn it. So that is there we have some two words category of people. The first people are the one that doesn't know and they are acting with ignorance. And the second one are the one that know, but they don't act upon their knowledge. So two of them, these two group are worse. So they are not a good true group. They are not good because they have the knowledge. So the first one they has no knowledge. Instead of them to be seeking to seek for knowledge, they didn't. Why the second group they have the knowledge, but they are not acting upon the knowledge. So both of them are bad example. So the right one are the one who seeks knowledge and they act upon the knowledge. So when you know something, the benefit of it is for you to do what? To act upon it. Okay. And if you don't know, then what you need to do or what you should do is to ask those that know. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا
I
تَعْلَمُونَ. So you ask the ulama. So that is what you need to do. So if you know that, so as we say that knowledge is very important, knowledge of or about your religion and information related to your religion, it is very important for you, especially the essential things. It is important and necessary for you to know. And if you don't know anything, or you are confused or bemused or ignorant of anything in your deen, in your religion, then you go to the ulama, go to the real scholar and ask them, so what is this? What is the hukm of this? What is the what do Allah say about this?
if I
What is
do
the
this,
Islamic
what is going to be?
perspective on this? You understand? So you need to reach out to this scholar, reach out to them and ask them to enlighten you, to teach you. You understand? So this is very, very important. So if you don't know something, that is one of the power of importance of knowledge. So knowledge is very important and very essential, as we all agree. Fine. After we have already agreed on that, then you need to seek the knowledge. You need to seek it, look for it, search for it everywhere. So anything, especially anything related to your religion, don't just worship Allah with ignorance. No, you worship Allah with knowledge. So that's part of the key importance of knowledge in
Yeah,
Ramadan. So this is
that
Ramadan.
is
There are
why
some things,
Allah
if you
subhanahu
see
wa
that there are
ta'ala
some
also said,
things that you don't know, some things that need to be known, or maybe, so for example, what is the judgment of this? What is the Islamic perspective on this issue? In Ramadan, maybe a girl or a boy or a girl, for example, going through some issue, you can ask the scholars, okay, what is the Islamic perspective on this thing? So what are the things that can spoil my fasting, for example? Reach out to the scholar, a real scholar, not just to post a question on the social media platform and you just leave it to like any random person just come and say
anybody can
what you
answer
like
to
without
it.
having that knowledge. No, you reach out to the real scholar, to the real scholars, not the people on social media platform that anyone can just answer. If you have any question or you have any doubt related to your religion, you reach out to the real scholar, not social media platform, which is something that is very, very rampant, and it is this social media culture. Like if you have any question related to your religion, posting it on social media, it's very, very bad, and it's not even advisable because you just see a lot of people, ignorant people, coming to answer your question. People that are
Yeah,
not really qualified to answer that question. You see them
And
coming to
you
your
will think
comment section
you
and
will think
answering it.
they are worthy
Yeah,
of replying you, so and
of
you follow
answering
what
the
they say,
question.
which is
And even if they are wrong, they will still stick firmly that what they're saying is right. Even they will be arguing with you that you have the knowledge. They'll be arguing with you that why would you say that? Why would you say this? You're wrong. This is not right. So if you have any question, the best way is not for you to go to social media platform and just post it. Okay, what is the Islamic perspective on this social cases or this issue? What is the perspective on it? No, you don't post on social media platform. You go to ulama, go to the scholar and ask them. So this is even part of knowledge as well. If you don't know something, go to the ulama. First, alu ahla dhikri in kuntum la ta'lamun. If you don't know something, you reach out to the scholar, not social media platform. The Quran doesn't say social media platform. No, you go to the ulama, go to the real scholar and ask them, because that is how we are going to have clarity and to avoid confusion and doubt and disorder and chaos in our community or in the religious society. So by going to the right person and asking them the right question, then we can avoid this. We can avoid chaos and disorder
yeah,
in our
because even
society, and we are
you
going
need
to have
knowledge
regulation
also.
as well. Um,
Yeah, even you need knowledge also to know who is right to ask questions from. Because even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also give us this dua in the Quran that we need to repeat all the time. So which he says, Qul Rabbi zidni ilma. He said, say Allah increase me in knowledge. So, which is you need when we repeat this dua also, it can also increase us in knowledge spiritually. So, before you seeking for that knowledge, because even because I used to look at some people when they say, yeah, you say I should seek for knowledge. When we are talking about knowledge, you see just knowledge to Islamic knowledge. No, every knowledge is not a waste because even the Muslims that came before us, we when we look at history, we would see that we have that history of excelling in everything in worldwide and also Islamically everything. So look at the first university in the world.
mm,
Claiming it's a Muslim university. When we talk
mm,
about algebraic, that is it's like a Muslim that did that. So which means we should not be sitting and relaxing, saying, "Yeah, everything is going to come to me." We need to search for that knowledge and ask Allah to increase us in knowledge. And also, we should always make sure that when we are seeking for that knowledge, we are seeking for that knowledge from the right person or from the right
exactly,
authorities or from the right
exactly.
people. So we need that thing also because we have that Allah has given us that free mind. Allah has given us that free thinking for us to know if this person is right or not. Because looking at the person, you can always differentiate. You can always know that this person is not worthy of right of asking. Because Allah has said in the Holy Quran that you should not drink alcohol and you see somebody preaching alcohol and you think that's the right person. So you're doing yourself. So immediately you see somebody preaching alcohol, you would know that this person is not worthy of asking him questions because the person trying to twist Allah's words is not going to give you the right answer. It's just going to mislead you again. So for that reason, we have that free thinking to know everything, saying, yeah, this person, can he help me? Yeah, maybe not. If we have doubts, let's leave that and go to the one which we are certain about. So what do you think about that? Just
Uh,
we're trying to say
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah. You're right. You're right as well. I just think we need to. I remember this. One of the Sahaba, one of the companion of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him. He was saying, he said that when we were taught how to read Al Quran, we were taught, for example, if for example we were taught to read like 5 verses today, so we won't continue until we acted upon those 5 verses that we learned. So until we acted upon it, and that is how we learn knowledge and action at the same time. فَتَعَلَّمْنَا الْعِلْمَ وَالْعَمَلَ مَعًا. So we learn knowledge and action at the same time. Meaning
Yeah,
we learn how
that is
to
why I said the
we
other
learn
time, like
knowledge
the
and
knowledge
also
be yeah,
how
that
to
is what we
act
have.
with the knowledge. which is the most
Yeah,
aspect of
that is
it.
why I said the other time saying that the
Yeah.
knowledge is not valuable until it
If
is applied in our daily life.
action.
Because
Yeah.
if you don't use it, that is al ilmi wal amal. So if you don't use it, then it's not valuable. It's just
Yeah.
there. It's just nothing. So
Yeah.
if
Of
you
course.
gain knowledge and you don't use it, it's just nothing. So you were saying
Yeah.
something. Sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, also so part of what we need to mention as well is that when we're talking about knowledge, we have worldly sciences and otherworldly sciences. So we should know that when we're talking about knowledge, the highest one is the knowledge of knowledge of Allah, like knowledge of Allah, how to know Allah,
Spiritually,
Marifat
yeah.
Allah. So this is the highest one. It is the highest. It's as the it is at the highest rank. So every knowledge, other knowledge are just like a means to that end. So knowledge of Allah and its attributes and its and the name. So these are the very, very important things. Then after that, we move to knowledge of the malaika, the angels, and the prophets and the books that were sent down. Right. So these knowledge are very, very important, and that is why, for example, when you look at the some books written in about ethics or akhlaq in general, you see that they are talking about how to attain felicity in the hereafter, how to attain happiness. So Imam Ghazali rahimahullah in his book Mizan al-Amal that I was referring to, he said that the things that all the rational people sought after is happiness. So no one can deny that. Like every rational being wants happiness, and the real happiness is not happiness in this life, but happiness in the hereafter, which is in the Jannah. And this happiness in the hereafter, you cannot attain it except with knowledge and action, with the combination of knowledge and action. So you need knowledge and you need action. Knowledge of what you need to do, how to do it, and what you need not to do, and how to avoid it and to distance yourself from it. Then after that, we need action. Action of how to actualize that knowledge that we're talking about, how to implement the knowledge that we're talking about, the application of that knowledge we're talking about. So you need the combination of knowledge and action in order for you to attain the happiness of felicity, which is in the year after. And when we're talking about the knowledge, of course, we have the practical, theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge. So the one at the top rank is the knowledge of Allah. So you need this knowledge. So that is the benefit of knowledge. Right. So you need to know it. You need to know Allah. You need to know the attributes of Allah. You need to know the names of Allah. Because by knowing it, then you'll be able to do what they say, what that was mentioned in the hadith. "Takhallaqu bi akhlaqillah." Just to like to act. For example, Allah is generous. You also you should be generous.
Yeah.
Right? So all this kind of Allah is merciful. You also you should be
You should.
merciful to the to humans,
Yeah.
right? So another kind of stuff. So you need knowledge for you to know this. You need knowledge for you to know this. So this also goes to what we're talking about the importance of knowledge, which is very very important. And as we all know that you cannot compare someone with knowledge and an ignorant person. هل يستوي
Yeah.
الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون? Of
That
course they are not. So like the dichotomy is very very obvious because you cannot compare someone with knowledge with someone without knowledge. So an ignorant person with a scholar. So like it's like two opposite things.
Yeah,
So yeah. So this shows the importance
just
of
because
knowledge.
the
Yeah.
time is against us. So,
Yeah.
if you in Ramadan, so you want to attain knowledge, so all we are saying is you can gain knowledge even in Ramadan also. So
Yeah.
what you just need to do is you need to schedule some dedicated time for learning also. And also when you have scheduled all this dedicated time, make sure you're utilizing you can use the online resources, and make sure you're using the online resources which is the authentic one, not just go on Facebook and read what some people, random people say. Even if you're going on Facebook, make sure that person writing something on Facebook is authentic. And you can use some books, also read some books and listen to some lectures. Make sure you listen to the the one that is going to benefit you. And also, you should engage in discussions with knowledgeable individuals. If you know that this person is more knowledgeable than you do, where we've got TikToks, people have some discussions in there just for more knowledge. On Facebook Live, on TikTok Live, on YouTube Live. If you can join them, have some conversation with them, gain some knowledge from them, and make sure you are attaining the one which is the best for you. And also, and after that, you should always like reflect on what you've learned from them. Make sure that you are telling yourself, well, what you've learned from them, what have you gained from having the discussion with these people. Because if you don't gain anything, then that's not knowledge, that is just a waste of time. So you need to also do all that yourself. So just because of time, so my brother here still has a lot to say, but we would continue on another day. Thank you all for your time. We say Rabbi Zidni Ilma, Rabbi Zidni Ilma, Rabbi Zidni Ilma. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all and increase us all in knowledge. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also increase our brother here for giving us some of his precious time. Out of no time, he's offered us some time to have a discussion with us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also increase him in knowledge. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also allow us to finish this Ramadan and finish more of Ramadan that is coming. And also gives us all the rewards that we ask for in Ramadan, and the one we don't ask for that we don't remember. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all with the reward of Ramadan. But thank you all for liking. Thank you all for following. Thank you all for keeping the notifications on. And thank you all for subscribing also on our YouTube channel. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless every single one of us abundant. Thank you all. See you guys another time. Thank you. Bye.